So my favorite movie, there's 3 or 4 in the same kind of category, and the first one is The Last Samurai with Tom Cruise. I like Braveheart with Mel Gibson, and I guess he did The Patriot as well, but probably the all-time favorite is Cinderella Man. And the reason why I like that is this guy's like really pro-family. He, even through the darkest of times, he stays true to his core values. And the climax of the movie for me is like he's been on food stamps and government subsidies and that sort of thing. He cashes in, wins a big boxing match at the end, goes back to the welfare office and gives them all the money that the government had given to him. So I thought that was really, really cool. So my dream foursome, it would actually be a fivesome because I'd be playing with these guys, would be Tiger Woods. You know, he's the greatest of all time, currently at 14 majors, hoping to cash in soon with that 15th major. The other person would be my dad. He was the one that introduced me to the game of golf at a young age, and he actually passed away at the age of 43. So just being able to play a round of golf with him would be super special. Edmund Hillary would be the third choice because at the time he summited Everest. You know, back then we weren't even thinking about getting to the moon. That was kind of the pinnacle of all things to accomplish. So just being around him and just kind of picking his brain on how he did that and the adversity that he overcame would be really, really cool. And then the other one would be Jim Elliot. He was one of the 5 missionaries that were killed in Ecuador. So just having a conversation with him would be amazing. Okay, so most memorable gift, let me give you a little history on this. So I always had a dream to have my own private practice, and the first job that I ever had was working at an outpatient clinic, and I had the opportunity to move to another office that they actually had 6 clinics throughout the state. And they had promised me that I would have my own physical therapy clinic to run. So I've been in practice for like 3 or 4 years. And so anyway, at the time, Becky, my wife, she was pregnant with Stuart, our second son. She was probably like 5 or 6 months pregnant. Austin was like barely 2. And so just switching at that time frame was kind of, you know, a pretty big deal. But, you know, Becky was super supportive. And anyway, she gave me this card, and I still have it on my desk. And it's basically, I don't know if you are familiar with cycling, but when they cycle these long distances, they're in packs or whatever. And then there's times where someone will just kind of break away from the pack. And that's kind of what the picture had, a group of cyclists, and then there's one guy that had broken away from the pack. And she just had a really encouraging note in there that I've kept, you know, for 20 plus years. Okay, so my most embarrassing moment, it kind of took me a while to remember this, and after I tell the story, maybe that'll be the reason why. But so my freshman year, actually it wasn't my freshman year, but my first year of physical therapy school, I lived off campus and would ride a bicycle to campus or to class. And this particular morning, it was really cold, so I had a sweater on, went to class, did my, you know, had my 50-pound backpack with all my books in it, went to class that morning, and then had time for lunch, went home, was driving or riding my bike through campus, and it had warmed up that day, so I set my sweater on the front handlebars of the bike and had my backpack on the back of my back, and I'm riding through campus, right through, there's like right in the middle of 2 dorms, and the sleeve of my sweater fell off the handlebars and got stuck in the front of spokes of the car, of the bicycle, and I immediately flipped over, landed on my right hip. The bag of 50-pound books just crashed my head onto the pavement. Yeah, it was pretty embarrassing, and like a champ, I just got up super quick, looked around, see if anybody saw me, hopped on my bike and continued on.